guys, welcome back to another edition of Our Small Life. As you can see, we're doing another top 10. Just stay watching, okay? And also, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good YouTuber stuff, okay? Stay tuned. So today, guys, we're gonna talk about the 10 things that you need to be doing in order to host a successful car meet. Okay, and I'm only saying these 10 things out of experience. If you have some other things that you know also help contribute to a successful car meet, let your girl know. You know, I love hosting events, so let me know, okay? So these are just a few things that I've learned from the last several months that I've hosted, the meets that I've hosted, so stay locked in. All right, guys, so these are in no particular order, okay? So starting off with the first tip, okay? The first thing that you need to know is you need to make sure you have permission from the business owner or the landlord of the property that you plan on hosting a car meet at. These people need to know that there's gonna be a whole bunch of people in their parking lot. That's important. Otherwise, you're gonna have the police show up and then it turns into a takeover and people are going to jail and losing cars. Y'all know how Houston is right now. So if you're Houston, make sure you're getting permission to be at these businesses, okay? That's first and foremost before you even make a flyer, okay? Make sure you have permission to be there. All right, so next, one of the major key things you need to have in order to host a successful car meet is food and drinks, okay? Even if you don't have drinks, you still need to make sure you have some type of food there. That holds people's attention. You know, I've been working in restaurants for a really long time, and I know that, like, depending on what you have, what type of entertainment and food that you have, that holds your audience a lot longer. So make sure you have food options, drink options, even if it's a store that's in the same parking lot or restaurant, make sure they have options. All right, so with your food and beverages, you also need to make sure you have entertainment, because nobody wants to just drive sit in a parking lot and look at the same cars that they see every weekend, all week long. You need to have some entertainment, okay? If it's something for the kids, bounce houses, if it's a DJ, I know me personally, I love DJ Obedient. You know, that's just a Houston swag. There are other DJs in Houston as well. You know, you need to have games, giveaways, something to keep the crowd engaged, because if they get bored, they're leaving, okay? So make sure you keep them there. That's the whole point of having a successful car meet. You want people to stay and enjoy their time. Okay, y'all, now that we have our crowd there, they have food, they have entertainment, they there, right? You got people still pulling up. You need to make sure you have crowd control, okay? So if you're hosting an event, you're kind of moving around a lot. So you need to be making sure people are parking where they're supposed to be parking. You're getting footage if you're a YouTuber. You got to make sure that the crowd's not overpowering the situation, parking in the street. You know, you don't want any situations of the police being called and showing up. You don't want people doing burnouts and crazy stuff and flybys. Like, you got to do crowd control. So you need to make sure people see you and that you're making your way around. If you need to have security at your events, make sure you book your security, because that's important as well. So make sure it's a safe event overall. Okay, guys, so this goes with one of our last points, all right? Now, you have food, you have beverages, you have entertainment, all that stuff. You may have some kiddos, whatever the case may be. I know me personally, and my kiddo, she's gonna have to go to the bathroom. So make sure that there's bathrooms somewhere close by. You may not be able to have them at your particular event location, but make sure there's a facility somewhere close by, a gas station, a restaurant, something, so people can go to the restroom. Preferably have your meet at a place that has a bathroom. I know that's not always possible depending on the size, but you definitely want to have bathrooms available. All right, guys, so one of the other things that's really super important is location, guys. Location, okay? You need to make sure you have enough parking. If you're planning a huge event, you don't want to do it in a little rinky-dink parking lot. You need to make sure you have space, okay? All right, you also need to make sure your locations are central sometimes, because depending on what kind of crowd you're trying to attract, you need to be in a central part of town. Not always like that. If you prefer a certain side of town, that's not going to create as much of an issue with law enforcement or with surrounding businesses, homeowners in the area, then by all means use those areas. But location. That is very important on where you're having a meet. You don't want people going to jail because they came to this meet, okay? All right, guys, so this goes hand in hand with crowd control. I know we talked about crowd control and how you should be moving around. Now, you should also be mingling with your guests because you're the host. So people need to see you. They came out to your event, so you need to thank them for coming out, speak to people, make sure you're engaging with your crowd, because otherwise, how successful do you think it's gonna be for your next event? If they feel like you were rude and standoffish, make sure you're mixing and mingling with your attendees. They wanna meet you. These people may be fans of yours. Make sure you're mixing and mingling with your guests, okay? Otherwise, they may not come back. And they may talk about you. Not that I would care, but they may talk about you because you're rude. So talk to your people when they show up. All right, guys, so this goes hand in hand with crowd control. I know we talked about crowd control and how you should be moving around. Now, you should also be mingling with your guests because you're the host. So people need to see you. They came out to your event, so you need to thank them for coming out, speak to people, make sure you're engaging with your crowd, because otherwise, how successful do you think it's gonna be for your next event? If they feel like you were rude and standoffish, make sure you're mixing and mingling with your attendees. They wanna meet you. These people may be fans of yours. Make sure you're mixing and mingling with your guests, okay? Otherwise, they may not come back. And they may talk about you. Not that I would care, but they may talk about you because you're rude. So talk to your people when they show up. Okay, y'all, this one's for the Texas folk, okay? And the down south folk, okay? Because this is a very key component to hosting a successful car meet. For me, okay? I'm just saying for me, and I know several other people that feel the same. You need to make sure you're doing this meet at a certain time of day if it's hot, okay? Like, people don't want to be out in the middle of the day at 12 o'clock noon sweating to death in Houston, Texas, okay? So depending on the time of year, you need to figure out what time of the day is best to host your event. Summertime, do them in the evening, okay? Or in the morning. In the fall and spring and all that, you can do them in the afternoons because it's not so hot. But make sure you're looking to see what your weather forecast is gonna be. Is it gonna be raining? Things like that, because you may have to reschedule it. You don't want people showing up to something that had to be canceled. So keep in mind weather and time of day. It's important, okay? I'm not trying to sweat to death, okay? All right, y'all, so I'm all for a collab event. You know me, I love helping local business owners and local people in the community, you know, raise money for whatever event, marketing, whatever, okay? But if you're gonna collab with other people, they need to hold equal responsibility in the functions of hosting the car meet, okay? You shouldn't be doing all the planning, all the purchasing, paying for things. It should be divided equally. So if you're gonna partner with people, make sure they can hold their weight, because otherwise you're gonna be frustrated and you may not wanna do an event with them anymore. So if you're gonna co-host, make sure the other co-hosts are involved, okay? Because I've done it before and it's a headache, especially if you're coming out of pocket for things that were supposed to be split up 3 and 4 ways. It's annoying and you have deadlines. So make sure these are reliable people that you're co-hosting with. All right, y'all, we made it to number 10, okay? Or number 1, however you want to go, backwards, forwards, upside down, whatever. But we're at our last point in what you need to do in order to host a successful car meet, okay? Now this one is very important. Excuse the honking in the background. I don't know what's going on. It has nothing to do with the car meet. But this is very important. Promotion, okay? So if you're, like I said before, if you're co-hosting, make sure your co-hosts are pushing the event. Make sure you're pushing the event. Make sure it's staying on the top of everyone's mind. Make sure it's being sent out to all types of different car meet Instagram pages, you know, different things in the community so that it's getting filtered out there. So promotion goes along with location. The more people see it, the more people will remember it, and the more people that will pull up. And there, boom, you have a successful car meet because you followed all 10 of those tips, right? All right, guys, so I hope that was super informative and that helped. I know some people, you know, are scared to take that leap to create their own event. Believe me, I've been there. I did it about 8 months ago, and I'm glad I did. So if you have any other tips that you would like to share with me, please let me know. And if this was helpful for you, also leave a comment below. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are locked in with me every week, going forward and from the past. So thank you guys, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Woo! Get in your bag and not your feelings, nigga. Collect the money, get the Skrilla killer. It's about action, it's about money moves. You don't fuck with me, then I don't fuck with you.